What if the most powerful biological transformation available to you right now costs less than $2 a day and is already sitting inside your refrigerator? Pharmaceutical companies spend billions engineering pills and injections to achieve what a single whole food can do naturally, and most people walk right past it every morning without a second thought. We're talking about 5 whole eggs, eaten every single day, for 30 consecutive days. By the time you finish reading this, you'll understand exactly why this one simple habit triggers changes in your blood chemistry, your brain architecture, and your metabolic engine that most people never experience in their entire lifetime. Here's the number that makes people uncomfortable: 50 eggs over the course of 1 month. Doctors who trained in the 1980s and 1990s hear that number and picture clogged arteries in emergency rooms, because they were educated during an era of nutritional science that has since been completely dismantled. A landmark research study tracking over 500,000 people, published in one of the most respected medical journals on the planet, revealed something that shook the nutrition world. People who ate eggs daily actually had fewer heart attacks than those who avoided them entirely. We have been misled about this food for decades, and the science is now loud enough that ignoring it is no longer acceptable. Before you crack your first egg, though, there is one critical decision that will determine whether this entire experiment works or collapses: the type of egg you buy. Walk into any supermarket and you'll be surrounded by packaging designed by marketing teams whose only job is to make you feel virtuous about your purchase. Words like cage-free, natural, and free-range are carefully engineered emotional triggers, not nutritional guarantees. A cage-free facility can legally pack tens of thousands of birds into a windowless warehouse where they never see sunlight, never touch grass, and never eat a single insect. They're simply not inside individual wire cages. Free-range sounds even better, but the legal requirement is nothing more than a small door somewhere in the building that the birds may or may not ever actually walk through. The only label that changes the biology of the egg itself is pasture-raised. These are chickens roaming on open grass, foraging for insects, and living under actual sunlight the way their biology was designed to operate. Crack open a factory farm egg and you'll see a pale, washed-out yellow yolk that looks like it's been diluted with water. Crack open a pasture-raised egg and the yolk is a deep, almost aggressive orange, the color of a sunset, and that color is not cosmetic. It is a direct visual measurement of nutrient concentration that no artificial feed can replicate. Week 1, the hunger disappears. Within the first 7 days, something happens that most people don't expect: the constant mental noise around food goes quiet. That mid-afternoon crash where your brain starts bargaining for something sweet, something crunchy, anything, simply stops showing up. This isn't willpower, this isn't discipline, this is your biology finally receiving what it has been screaming for. Most people in the modern world are living in a state of hidden starvation, eating thousands of calories daily while their cells remain starved of the actual molecular raw materials needed to function. When you eat a bowl of cereal or a couple of slices of toast in the morning, your blood sugar spikes rapidly, your pancreas floods your bloodstream with insulin to bring it back down, insulin overshoots, and now your blood sugar is too low. Your body declares an emergency and stress hormones flood your system, demanding more food within 2 hours. This cycle repeats itself 4, 5, 6 times throughout the day, and most people have lived inside it so long they think it's simply what hunger feels like. 5 whole eggs deliver roughly 350 calories, but more importantly they deliver 30 grams of the most bioavailable protein on Earth, 25 grams of healthy fat, a complete spectrum of B vitamins, plus selenium, iodine, and phosphorus, all working together as a unified nutritional system. This specific combination of protein and fat triggers the release of satiety hormones, including peptide YY, that travel directly to your brain and signal that the body has everything it needs. Stand down, stop searching. Because eggs have virtually no impact on blood sugar, insulin stays low and stable, and when insulin stays low, your body unlocks access to its own stored fat as a fuel source, something it literally cannot do when insulin is elevated. You may not see dramatic changes on the scale in week 1, but you will feel something shift. Your energy becomes a flat, steady line instead of a series of peaks and crashes, and that alone changes everything. Week 2, your brain wakes up. By the second week, the transformation moves north into the organs sitting between your ears. This is where a nutrient that most people have never heard of becomes the star of the show. It's called choline, and the majority of the population is severely deficient in it without knowing it. Your brain uses choline as the primary raw material to manufacture acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter responsible for learning, memory formation, focus, and the speed at which your brain processes incoming information. If you've ever read the same paragraph 3 times without absorbing it, walked into a room and completely forgotten your purpose for being there, or found yourself mentally exhausted by noon, you were experiencing the lived experience of acetylcholine deficiency. 5 whole eggs deliver between 600 and 700 milligrams of choline every single day, essentially flooding your brain's manufacturing line with the material it needs to produce the chemical that makes you sharp. People who go through this protocol consistently describe the experience the same way. They say it feels like a fog lifting, like the mental static that had become background noise simply fades out. Simultaneously, the DHA omega-3 fatty acids concentrated in pasture-raised egg yolks are being absorbed and physically incorporated into the membrane structure of your neurons. Your brain is 60% fat by weight, and the quality of fat available to it determines the quality of the electrical signals traveling between your neurons. Poor fat quality degrades the signal, good fat quality sharpens it. The DHA from whole eggs is dramatically more bioavailable than anything derived from plant sources, meaning your body can use it immediately rather than attempting a conversion process that is inefficient at best. And while all of this is happening, the lutein and zeaxanthin concentrated in those deep orange yolks are accumulating in the retina of your eyes, acting as internal biological filters against the oxidative damage caused by the blue light screens we stare at for 8 to 12 hours daily. By day 14, you are simultaneously rebuilding your brain, stabilizing your mood, and protecting your vision from breakfast. Week 3, the protein advantage. Now it's time to talk about something the fitness and supplement industry does not want you to understand. Not all protein is the same, and the difference is enormous. When your body digests protein, it breaks it into amino acids and attempts to use those amino acids to build or repair tissue, but depending on the source, a significant portion gets wasted and burned as fuel instead of actually being used for construction. Scientists measure this with something called net nitrogen utilization. Whey protein, often celebrated as the gold standard, scores between 17 and 20%, meaning up to 83% of what you paid for ends up as expensive waste. Whole eggs score nearly 50%, the highest net nitrogen utilization of any food source ever measured, making them by a significant margin the most efficient protein delivery system available in nature. Think of it like building a house. Cheap, warped lumber forces you to discard most of what you purchase because it doesn't fit, while precision-cut timber allows you to use nearly every single piece. This matters enormously after the age of 30, when the body begins the slow process of sarcopenia, the progressive loss of muscle tissue that is the primary biological driver of weakness, loss of independence, and accelerated aging. Here's the part that should make the egg white omelet trend feel genuinely wasteful. The yolk contains the precise cofactors that allow your body to actually utilize the protein sitting in the white, and removing it collapses the biological value of the entire egg. The fat in the yolk also buffers the insulin response that would otherwise accompany eating pure protein, keeping you in a steady anabolic state where your body is building tissue rather than storing fat. By week 3, anyone who has been exercising will notice that recovery feels faster, soreness resolves more quickly, and the mirror begins to show the one outcome everyone wants but rarely achieves: fat disappearing while muscle stays exactly where it is. Week 4, the cholesterol truth. This is the week where someone at the dinner table, with genuine concern in their eyes, tells you that you're consuming 1,000 milligrams of cholesterol daily and that your arteries are headed toward catastrophe. Here is what they don't know: your liver manufactures between 1,000 and 3,000 milligrams of cholesterol every single day, on its own, without any dietary input, because cholesterol is so essential to life that your body refuses to leave its supply to chance. Without cholesterol, you cannot build cell membranes, you cannot produce hormones, you cannot repair damaged tissue, and you cannot synthesize vitamin D. It is a foundational molecule for human survival, not a poison. Your body operates a self-regulating feedback system. When dietary cholesterol increases, the liver reduces its own production proportionally, meaning the total level barely moves for the vast majority of people. The real story about cholesterol and heart disease is this: when arteries become inflamed due to chronic stress, smoking, processed food, or oxidative damage, your body dispatches cholesterol to the injury site to patch and repair it, which is why cholesterol appears at the scene of arterial damage. It is the paramedic responding to the emergency, not the cause of the crash. Beyond the heart conversation, cholesterol is the precursor molecule from which your body manufactures every major hormone: testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and cortisol all begin their existence as cholesterol, meaning if your hormonal system has been struggling, the root issue may simply be inadequate raw material supply. Men who complete this protocol frequently report noticeably increased drive, strength, and mental clarity. Women often report improvements in cycle regularity and emotional stability because the hormonal system is finally running with a full tank. There is also a genetic factor affecting roughly 40% of the population that most people have never been tested for, a variant called MTHFR that impairs the body's ability to clear homocysteine, a molecule that when elevated inflames arterial walls and is a far more accurate predictor of cardiovascular events than cholesterol has ever been. Clearing homocysteine requires bioavailable B9, B12, and choline, the exact nutrients found in their most usable natural forms inside a pasture-raised egg yolk, meaning that eating eggs for breakfast is actively detoxifying your bloodstream at the molecular level while everyone else spends money on supplements that can't deliver the same result. The cooking method that protects everything. You can erase every single benefit described above in under 60 seconds if you cook your eggs incorrectly. The antioxidants, the cholesterol, and the fat-soluble vitamins in the yolk are sensitive to high heat and oxygen exposure. Blast them on a scorching pan until the yolk turns gray and rubbery and you have oxidized the cholesterol, which is genuinely inflammatory, and destroyed a substantial portion of the micronutrients in the process. The method is simple: low heat, a tablespoon of grass-fed butter, eggs cracked directly into the pan, stirred gently and continuously until soft glossy curds just begin to form, then removed from heat immediately while they still look slightly underdone, because residual heat finishes the job. The target texture is somewhere between custard and silk, creamy, rich, and soft, and when you achieve it, you are preserving the full biological integrity of everything inside that yolk. What your body looks like after 30 days. After a full month, your body has undergone a complete internal recalibration that no blood test could have predicted when you started. Your insulin sensitivity has improved, your hunger signals have normalized, your brain has been flooded with the raw materials for focus and memory, your hormonal system is running on a full supply of its most essential precursor, and your body's detoxification pathways are operating at a level most people never access. This isn't a diet, a hack, or a trend. It is a return to eating the way your biology was literally designed to function, using a food that human beings have eaten every single morning for thousands of years before anyone told them to be afraid of it. You haven't just eaten breakfast for 30 days, you have sent a signal to your DNA to build, repair, and operate at the level it was always capable of.